Welcome back, and I hope you've had a great week and actually done some thinking and some exploring. Last week, I set the stage for what we'll be addressing all month. What beliefs do I hold that stops information from coming in so that I can really evaluate more effectively? This topic, I think, is relevant for everybody, whether it's about your performance, your relationships, or your own personal growth and evolution. We grow by receiving information and using that to self-evaluate whether you're moving forward or staying stuck. So, I offered the metaphor of a car last week and the idea of a car's navigation system. As information comes in, you get the data telling you how fast you're going, how much gas you have left. This data is critical, and it would be insane for you to cover up the dials and the readouts so that you didn't know what was going on. The difference between us and a car is that the car has no feelings or agenda. It's got nothing to protect or avoid. It's literally a reporting system telling you basically what's happening. So clearly we are different. But my question is our difference serving us? What could we do if we felt safe enough to be open to as much data as available or relevant? Of course we will filter data because there's so much floating around that isn't actually relevant to our lives and how we're functioning. So let's not get sidetracked with the idea of having too much information and no boundaries. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being more open to information that directly affects our relationships, our learning, our skills, and our performance. Okay, so how did you do in exploring your assumptions, your beliefs? I lump assumptions and beliefs together because under any assumption is a belief. So it's an easy way to just find a belief, which sometimes can be difficult. What assumptions do you make on a regular basis? Do you assume, for example, people will be fair or responsible, honest, kind? Do your assumptions give people the benefit of the doubt? Do you assume people are there to support you? As I was writing this, I was imagining people saying, "But Lynn, people aren't always there to support you. They don't have your back or your best interests at heart," and so on. Okay, so let's follow that train of thought. So if I believe people are not there to support me, then how do I behave? If I believe that, well, naturally, I would make sure that I'm looking out for me because I assume somebody else isn't. And while I'm doing that, I'll sort of not be noticing what others actually might be doing that is supportive. Does that ring any bells? In fact, I might actually be discouraging people from helping me because I don't want to get my hopes up. I don't want to be dependent. And I know this can seem sensible and a good way to proceed, but it actually guarantees I will be on my own and provides the data that the limiting belief is true. So this is what people really mean when they say self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm making that come true. Byron Katie has a process of inquiry called the work. And it is a wonderful way to examine thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, anything that basically contradicts reality. Because her point is that anything that bumps up and challenges reality is often going for us to cause pain. So I think it's really a powerful process for us to inquire into what am I thinking and feeling that is flying in opposition to what life is actually showing me. I want to tell you about my mom when my dad died. And it was a very big shock for all of us. I was only in my late 20s. And for my mom, it was an enormous shock, even though my dad had been ill for 6 months. When it actually happened, she was just devastated. And so for many, many months, and it really went on for a great deal of time, into 2 years almost, my mom would say, "It's not fair. It's not fair. And I knew that she was wrestling with coming to terms with her grief and so on. But one day I said to her, you know, Mom, I can't believe that you actually are holding on to this idea of fair. Like life is not fair, and so many people realize this long before, your age. And she said, it's true. But she was trying to come to terms with the loss. And so when I think of Byron Katie's work, I imagine that if she had been sitting with my mom, she would have said something along the lines of, is it true that it's not fair? Said very compassionately, I think what Byron Katie would be doing is inviting my mom to really examine the belief that it's not fair, because here it was, a reality. And eventually my mom really did get past that. She was able to move beyond the thought, it's not fair, to coming to terms with what is. And that really did free her. So when we look at beliefs, they can either keep us stuck or they can open doors and windows. Here are a few more beliefs I uncovered when I was looking at this topic of self-evaluation. I'm going to give you the negative first and then a version that's more empowering, more positive, I think. So how about, I don't know means I'm incompetent. And I shift it to, smart people can and do say, I don't know. What if I believe getting feedback from someone else means that I have missed something? I could shift that to, asking someone for feedback can be very empowering. How about the one, you're putting a person on the spot when you ask for feedback? You could shift that to, you can always ask someone for feedback and people love sharing their ideas. How about asking for feedback just gives people a chance to dump on you? If somehow that feeling is inside of you, you want to take a look and shift it to something like, feedback or information doesn't hurt you. It's what you do with it that counts. Another one is, if there's differences, it means that one of us is wrong. Many people believe that difference is a negative. Instead, it could be differences enrich us. Or how about chaos is bad and feeling pain should be avoided? Recognize that one? Chaos and confusion always precede change, and that's part of it. Okay, so you get the idea. I want you to consider shifting the beliefs that you've uncovered this week to a positive or more empowering perspective. And then next week, I'll give a strategy for implementing new beliefs so that they can feel more natural. I hope you have a great week. Let me know how you're doing, and bye for now.